Q, why don't you give us a roll, man?
I'll break the seal on that. Very, very, very sorry.
No.
Sorry.
Sorry.
I get an apology too, but not for that. You don't have to apologize for something where somebody just has a different opinion than you. You apologize for actually being wrong, man. You know what? Because, we go hard because we're being funny. But from a serious note, I just want to say this. I don't really have that big an issue with China. I actually really don't hate him that much, but I do have an issue with people making a fool out of themselves.
Yeah.
You know? And he made a fool out of himself. He could have done a normal apology and been fine and just said, I'm sorry I offended you.
Yeah. Yeah. I can see that. All right. Number 4, Nostalgia Gold. What is your favorite Saturday morning cartoon?
Man, we grew up with such good cartoons, man. Oh, man, which was the highlight? It also depends on the era. That's the big thing is that, we had 2 major cartoon eras, I would say. Early on, at the very oldest, we had, G.I. Joe, the original He-Man, but then later on, we got into, Thundercats and some of the more modern Turtles, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
I think mine's probably going to be one of the older ones compared to you two.
That's why I said, you got to give me a breather, man, because there were a lot of good ones.
Well, I'll go first if you want.
Yeah, go ahead, man. Because they said favorite. And I'm like.
My favorite, and I've watched it, I own the DVDs, and I've watched it probably at least 3 or 4 times since I bought the set, was the original Dungeons & Dragons cartoon. It was because of that really got me interested in playing Rangers. Because I always wanted to do the cool bow stuff, and then I read books on Drizzt, and then I completely just switched paths. But that original cartoon, I thought was edgy for being 6, 7 years old at the time, but it was also so imaginative. That's the show that I could not wait every Saturday morning, and I was devastated when it didn't come back again. There were other shows that we watched, like the G1 Transformers that was really tight, but there was nothing like the original Dungeons & Dragons cartoon. And to this day, I still will pull some of that stuff and put it in some of my adventures when I DM. Because you got to pull things back that, will not only be interesting, but also creative. And it was extraordinarily creative with some of the adventures that they put the characters on. So that's my call, is the original Dungeons & Dragons cartoon.
Well, and I know probably Zeno has the same answer, but it actually he helped me find it because he flipped through. Because while I watched Tiny Toons and I watched Hey Arnold and I watched Rocko's Modern Life, while I remember, I have a favorite Tiny Toons episode I remember. I have several. I'll see a picture or a meme, and I'll go, I know the episode. There's only one thing that, especially recently, for some reason, it's gotten really popular, that I remember every episode of almost. You could show me a single screenshot, and I can tell you what episode it is. And that was that Batman animated series. That was the show. The thing is, though, is I think that came on during the week, but I know that it was an absolute.
That came on Saturday.
Okay, it came on Saturday because I had to watch Batman. And I'd fight for it. I had to watch the Batman series. It is still, to me, possibly the greatest animated comic book cartoon. As much as the X-Men was good, for mood, for seriousness, for defining the character, like Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy were really brought out by that. A lot of those characters were defined by this cartoon. And then a lot of other characters. I saw a picture of an episode. It was a meme, and somebody had Batman with the half metal face. And I said, that's the one where the robot thought it was Batman, and it was so well programmed that it ended up sacrificing itself because that's what Batman would do. Because he's so much of Batman that even a robot programmed to take him out is also Batman. That's how. I remember the episode where Poison Ivy had made herself a plant family, had a husband and a kid, and was not trying to do this stuff. And I could really sit here and go over episodes all day. Some of the greatest I could sit and watch that whole series again.
Yeah.
I could sit down and somebody said, "Yo, I got the Batman animated series, 100-something episodes. I don't know how many there are." I'd be like, "Let's sit and do a freaking marathon of it." Greatest cartoon to this day. I still think it's good. I'd watch it. I'd watch an episode in a drop of a hat, and I think I would love it just as much. Whereas with the X-Men, I feel it'd be a little rough to watch it now.
I don't know. I've rewatched some of the X-Men stuff. It wasn't that bad.
Yeah, I think it's
we
aged
watched
a bit.
50 plus. It's dated. My kids still enjoy it.
Yeah.
But I'm like, ooh, that's rough. That's rough animation. So yeah,
But, yeah.
no, it's definitely has not aged as well as Batman has. I agree with you on that.
I mean, it's the best. The original X-Men cartoon was the best X-Men cartoon. I've watched the ones that came after it. It still was the first one was the best.
Where Batman and X-Men, I think as an adult, I appreciate them more than some of the. I remember as a kid, Darkwing Duck was probably one of my favorites in my younger days. Now, where I appreciate today Batman and X-Men more. As a kid, I was a big Darkwing Duck fan.
But I can't separate that because also DuckTales. Like DuckTales and
DuckTales,
Darkwing Duck were like a combo, and they had crossovers. It was,
the other one,
stuff.
the other oddball one that I probably was, which I tried going back and watching. It was just it was painful to watch. But I used to just die to watch this on Saturday, and that was Gummy Bears.
That is an aged one. I don't know
But
why
it
it was so
aged so bad.
Gummy bears bouncing here and there and everywhere. Yes, I remember. Man, forget y'all. I won't even lie, man. While I didn't like the show, I don't know why, but I watched the Care Bear movies because the movies were weirdly dark. Like, they had, like, Satan. You know, like, one of the villains was just, like, freaking the devil.
Never did the Care Bears. Never
Well,
did
they
that.
got weirdly dark in the movies, and I remember being like, whoa, that's jacked up. Like,
But
At least somebody pulled out the Snorks.
But as a kid of have to watch probably Darkwing Duck and Gummy Bears were like, you know, where I today I appreciate Batman much more.
I'll put it like this: if I had Disney Channel, I'd probably be watching the new Darkwing Duck and DuckTales. I've actually seen a few episodes.
It was
and they're not bad. But I mean, I love DuckTales and DuckTales.
Yeah.
Ooh,
I haven't seen. I didn't know there was a new Darkwing Duck. I've seen
He showed up on DuckTales, and then they're working on I think there's a side series now for it.
I watched a few episodes of the new DuckTales. The Certifiable Studios had some playing at their when I was over there for a game night once, and it was aight.
Yeah, but the new DuckTales doesn't sit well with me. I can't get past some of the quirks.
It's quirky. They've done a few odd things, but still, I mean, nostalgia wins a lot of points with me, though. I mean, I love, like you said, DuckTales. But when I tried to watch X-Men, it's still good, but it definitely has that 80s feel. Like, it feels like it's like, or 90s. It
But
has
I gotta
that 90s
say, when
feel.
I went back and watched it, the intro music just had me like that.
Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, I know it. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, I gotta admit now, you talk about some music that you're like, like, it was a good one. It was a good one, man. But, man, dun, 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 dun. Like when Batman, when you saw that, I mean, it was just such a stylish show.
I mean, I still think X-Men's intro was more memorable than Batman's.
I don't know, man. Those shots and angles.
No, the music. I'm sorry.
No. Oh, okay. When it comes to winning,
Batman animated series was we would have arguments whether or not it was a cartoon because it was so different compared to everything else we had seen before. I mean, we get into fights about no, it's an animated series. It's not a cartoon. Dude, it's animated. It's a cartoon. No, it's an animated. So no, it was definitely unique for the time. Yeah. Definitely cutting edge and try to cater towards an older teenage audience that grew up on Saturday morning cartoons.
Like, I'm amazed none of the movies remixed that cartoon theme to use in their movie because it would have got everybody hyped. You would have started off. If we were sitting there when the movie credits were starting up and it went, da-da-da-da, everybody thought it'd be like, oh, okay, maybe this is going to be good. Like, you've already got a +2 to your score off of that song. Nobody, God, why are we not directors? It's such little qualities. Like, I don't know, using the original 4 Vault Hunters.
Oh, all right. So let's move on to our next topic. This is more of another one of those just quick updates because every time this happens, it affects gaming in some sort of way, and that is Microsoft is announcing a new version of Windows coming out. They will unveil the new version of Windows on June 24th. It sounds like they're pushing more for the Windows Store, which scares me a little bit because Macintosh is very Apple Store, and that has hindered it some, I think, as far as gaming goes. They're trying to get less and less, or further and further away from third-party installs, and I don't want Windows going into that direction and
What was the
relying
first
too
thing I
much
asked
on
you
their.
though when I heard about it?
I don't remember. I wasn't paying attention to you.
Was it free?
Oh,
Because I remember for a while
yeah.
they've been wanting to kind of make people buy the new version of Windows, and I'm
Well,
very
they've
curious.
always charged for the new version of Windows. The only time they didn't charge for the new version of Windows was the initial release, I think, of Windows 10. They allowed you to upgrade from Windows 7 or Windows 8 for free. But that was new. That was like, oh, that's never happened before. They'd always charge you.
So how long before the Windows I have becomes obsolete and I have to buy the new Windows becomes the question.
I don't know. I mean, we'll know more on the 24th. Like I said, my biggest concern here is going to be the new them focusing more on the store. Well, as it says here, let's see, we've got to see many of the dual. I don't know. Somewhere in that article they were talking about it, but anyway, that's always been my concern. There's a
lot going on behind the scenes. They may need to make some more money.
I mean, we have the Xbox, or not Xbox, the Microsoft Play or whatever, or is it Xbox Play, whatever it's called, Play Pass.
Game Pass?
Game Pass. Yeah, we have the Game Pass. That's what it is. Play is EA. We have the Game Pass, which is, focusing more on the store already, which as much as I enjoy the Game Pass, I don't want that to be my only option either, and that's always my concern when we start going in this direction.
Yeah, I mean, at least I got to give this. I do got to love the fact that, like, there were several games we were eyeballing, and they're all lining up. Like, this is a novel concept that they grab games on release day. I am still shocked that both Dark Alliance and Ascent, I believe Ascent also. Didn't you say Ascent was also now going to be on Game Pass? That is
I've
like,
already downloaded
wow.
it.
I already downloaded
Like,
it.
we'll literally be planning to buy a game. Oh, I haven't done it yet, but we'll literally be like, hey, man, let's play this when it comes out. Mm-hmm. We'll all buy it. And then we're like, oh, Game Pass. Like,
well, me and Blood have the Xbox X, so we have more space, so we can go ahead and download things.
Just right beside the headphone.
Oh, all right. Let's see. Next, we have, this is some Nintendo fun.
Not for the guy that owns that site.
Not for the guy, but it is harder and harder to find ROM sites. Not that I would look for those because that's probably not legal. But
I do not know about ROM sites or use them to play Super Mario RPG.
This does not help finding ROM sites anymore, being that the one ROM site owner who made $30,000 a year, basically,
not a lot.
Is now being sued by Nintendo.
No, he has
been sued by Nintendo and owes Nintendo $2.1 million. Now, what he did is he uploaded these ROMs to a site, and then he charged for membership for download speeds
Get my calculator
and limits, removing limits. And that's how he was making his money from that, ads, stuff like that. So, with all that, he made about $30,000 a year.
So he would need to run his site for 70 years to make $2.1 million.
Yeah,
so Disney cold-blooded, man. I mean, not Disney. Well, no, Disney
Nintendo
is also cold-blooded. But we're talking about Nintendo, but damn it, Disney's also cold-blooded. But yeah, like, wow. Like, $2.1 million, they have ruined him financially for the rest of his life. Like, he'll never be able to pay that back. Most people don't make $2.1 million in their life.
Now, Nintendo argued
he's also
that
unemployed right now.
Each download costs it between $20 and $60, the average cost of new games it sells, and that it had therefore lost between 1 and 3 million in revenue.
I like the way they're saying that, even though people that go to get ROMs is because they don't want to buy your damn games. Like, none of those people that went to the ROMs did that because they wouldn't buy the game. Most people play ROMs of games that they wouldn't be willing to pay money for. I'm being honest. It really is. Like, there are a few people that try to emulate newer games, but older games, Switch, I would pay $1 at best for friggin' Super Mario RPG. No, I wouldn't, because it's too old. I wouldn't pay to play it. You know what I'm saying? So that's false. Also, it's their fault they still charge $60 for their Switch games. They overcharge. Because, Switch games are still really expensive. Like, you can go back and try to buy, like, an older game for Nintendo. They do not reduce their prices. But that's a huge claim. And the fact is, they said between 1 and 3, and the court went 2.1. They just wanted to scare everybody. They were trying to ruin the guy enough that they would scare people, which won't work.
Because they ended up 90,000 each for 49 games, so 1.715 million, and then they charged them an extra 400,000 for the box art.
Y'all go. Now, don't get me wrong. He needed to get sued because he was charging.
Yeah.
And no ROM site, how do I word this? If I had ever been to a ROM site, none of those ROM sites that if I had ever been to one in this fictional scenario charged for ROMs.
Well, he wasn't charging for ROMs. You could go and get the ROMs for free from his site.
He was charging for download speed. He was, we don't approve of loot boxes and microtransactions. Why are you going to act like it's different here? You could get it, but your download speed sucks, but you could pay me for fast download. He was profiting off of his ROM site.
You can't tell me that any ROM site out there does not contain ads, which is a form of profit.
The site I went to didn't, no.
No ads.
No, but I mean, if you just
You went to a site?
The site... Well, I mean, I could go to the site. I didn't say I downloaded
your
anything.
imaginary site that you did not go to.
Yeah. If I had been to a ROM site, it did not have advertisements. Now, if you so happen to like to send a particular person some money because you think he's a cool guy, you could do that. But that had nothing to do with the site. That was just over here like, oh, look, I have a PayPal.
I hear Bob is cool.
Bob's a cool guy. It happens to have a PayPal. I could send Bob some money if I felt like, but it wasn't even required. It was just if you, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, so happen to want to tip Bob, who doesn't own this site, he just happens to have his PayPal link there. Like, oh, look, a PayPal link happens to be on the page. But, like, this guy was straight up, I mean, he was making $30,000 a year. He was making money. And plus, here's the key part. Also, all of those sites, if I had been to those sites, they weren't the ones uploading the ROMs. People from the fictional people from the community were technically maybe uploading the ROMs themselves, because that's what it was. It was, hey, here's a site. Oh, look, you want to link this? Well, hey, this person happened to link this. He was uploading the ROMs himself and charging. That is the truth. Come on, man. I pick on Nintendo and Disney, but like I said, if somebody happened to have a site that had pictures of me on it, and they happen to be charging you for the charging you for something to get into the site, but they weren't selling the pictures, I'd be like, no, man, you selling my pictures. You charging people to get at this. You're charging. So they're not wrong for that, but they could have hit this Negro for what he was making. They could have hit him for like 100,000. Like 2.1 million is cold-blooded. They said, we ruining you forever.
What's that, blood?
So it's a statement to all the other ROM sites out there.
Yeah.
They said most of the ROM sites aren't directly charging. They're not going to be able to hit them for that.
Well, they don't think
maybe. Thing. I hear through the rumor.
What if they have box art?
They don't. They know what they're doing. If I had been to a site that had Super Mario RPG, it had the
in other words,
Super Mario Super Mario RPG.
Yeah. So no, this lawsuit just tells the other ROM places how to do it right.
Yeah, don't charge, knucklehead. Also, you don't admit in court that you uploaded the ROM. He admitted. He said, I uploaded the ROMs. He should have been like, I don't know where those came from. I'm running a newsletter, and I just happen to allow people to post their articles, and they posted links. Oh, I should probably stop. I mean, if you were going to do that. Pirate Bay.
All right, so
Man, we must have a ghost in here. You hear that?
I didn't hear anything.
Oh, yeah.
Let's talk about
You tore it.
let's talk about Dark Alliance. This is just a quick update on Dark Alliance. They are getting split screen co-op, but after launch, it doesn't really affect us because I mean we all have it on. We're all going to have it on Xbox and be playing over. But it is one of those things just as nostalgia point. Playing the originals, the Baldur's Gate, Dark Alliance 1 and 2 games that were couch co-op. You know, I hate to see this delayed couch co-op because a lot of times these delayed things don't come as quickly or at all as they are stated. I mean, if you're going to release the game, go ahead and finish the game and release it. Don't go, we're releasing the game, but this feature, it's going to come later. Don't worry about it.
Don't worry. It's not going to be damage mitigation fixed slow.
Oh, damn.
I didn't name the game. But if you type in damage mitigation in Google, I know where it's going to send you.
Oh, I'm curious now. Let me,
like, you think it'll just immediately pop up? Okay, we're going to test this. I was talking crap, but let's see. Boom! First thing it said. No, when you typed it in, though, what did it say at the top? It said damage mitigation. That game was the first thing that popped up.
It did.
He literally typed in damage mitigation and said, did you mean writers? I bleeped out some of it.
Also, I mean, even though once you do the search for damage mitigation, it may not be on the first screen, but yeah, you go down.
You go down, and there it is on the wiki.
So
it's tied for property damage mitigation. That is when you know something is a bitched about issue, is when it's up there with real life.
But the WoW wiki has it first.
WoW's been around since. That article is probably from 2014.
Oh, well, Smite is #1, that game. So
well, Reddit. Plus, you also put in damage mitigation, not damage mitigation like error or glitch.
Damage mitigation, error.
Let's see. Let's try error. Glitch, somebody else get it too, but there you go. First, a video. A video immediately pops up. And the next video, and the next video, and the next video.
Anyway.
Reddit, lots of damage mitigation deniers. Boom.
That's not the point here. The point is couch co-op Dark Alliance.
Oh yeah, Dark Alliance. Yeah.
So I hate to see that they aren't going to have this on day one, but at the same time, it's not affecting me this time. So it's
honestly for this game, I'd rather not split screen most of the time, especially like trying to do 3 people. Like, but
well, yeah, and I don't remember if the earlier games was actually split screen. No,
I think
couch
you had
co-op.
to stay on the same
I think
screen.
It was just you were on the same screen,
which actually limited your movement. Now, the way the game looks, it almost doesn't need split screen because it looks like most of the fight areas are actually pretty compact. I've been watching some videos.
Yeah. But
I'm looking forward to getting Wolfgar in there, man. I'm going to drop the hammer.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm definitely looking forward to it. I'm gonna do some Bruner. And,
Bruner looked fun, man. I swear I saw him do the headbutt. I swear I saw him, man, just go wham. And I was like, there it is, the famous Bruner battle hammer with the broken horn helmet. Man, look how the last time I saw anything about this was so long ago, and yet I remember it. That really shows you how to make a character last. And this is why 4 and 5 lost me, because they just don't do this anymore. Of course, now, I guess Driz is racist. I'm surprised they're not actually going to do a thing with that.
No.
He's a dark elf. I don't know. Don't you act like it's me. Don't you act like it's me.
I know the reference.
I'm surprised he's allowed to be in there.
I just try not to think about it.
Surprised they didn't replace Brunar. Like, no. He represents he's a straight white male. It's got to go. We'll put in Regis. Oh, God, that'd have been horrible.
It's offensive to angry midgets.
They prefer little people.
Oh.
And then the dwarf is offensive to little people. Regis is offensive to fat people.
Oh.
Because he was around Little Butterball.
Okay. All right.
Oh, dang it. That's probably a racial slur now.
It probably is.
Butterball is a slur.
Oh.
Turkey.
Turkey is a slur.
I'll be honest. I was just thinking that. I was like, man, I wouldn't mind some Butterball turkey slices. Make me a nice sandwich. Get some good French bread to put it on.
Grey Poupon.
All right, guys.
I like how this just gave how food like.
I know.
And for a moment, it was about like Drow being racist, like stereotypes, but now it's about sandwiches.
Yeah, and dark meat.
And still less insulting about what Amazon did.
I've got a closing for that.
What's that?
I'm scared what he's gonna say. Okay, Blood Ice, please don't go too far.
No. At the end of our shows, I put a closing of a clip from one of our interviews. And I have the one from Alan Dean Foster with your statement, which I will now include at the end of this.
No. Okay. Let's close the episode out before we get to the horrible there. All right, guys. Thanks for watching.
Did I miss a racism?
Yeah.
When I was out, yeah, I did.
Well, no, I think you were there when I said it.
You were there.
Yeah, I was just talking about.
I'll tell you after.
Yeah. Anyway.
You do so many, it's hard to keep up.
I do. Be sure to check out Dicejunkies.com. Find links to everywhere we are online. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all that good stuff. YouTube, be sure to like, follow, hit the notification bell so you get all the new content. We got interviews. We got some gaming videos. Blood Axe has been putting a lot of stuff together and getting it up on there. So we really appreciate that, and we think you should check it out because it's really good. All right, guys. Thanks for watching, and as every week,
we hope you enjoy it. I don't normally like sci-fi, but when I do get into sci-fi, I like it dark. That's the way I like it. Like I mentioned with the horror space. So, what you say there? Need to turn you on?
No, I was being rude when you said you like it dark. I was like I like my women, but that was just me being an ass.